Hi guys, welcome to episode number 7 of my horror game tutorial series. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to adjust the light setting in our scene so that our scene starts to look more scary and more fitting for a horror game. So, I want to show you one thing I did off camera. I grabbed all the game objects in the hierarchy that we put in the scene last time and dragged it under the apartment game object, so that the hierarchy is a little bit more cleaned up. Okay, so to change the light setting, we first have to take a look at our light in the scene. This is the directional light. As you can see, it illuminates our apartment, and this is a directional light, so that means that it works kinda like a sun. It doesn't matter where the light itself is placed. The only thing that matters is its rotation, as you can see, the shadows. But since we are indoors, we are not going to need a light that works like a sun. So we can just delete this light by right clicking and go to delete. Okay. So now you can see the apartment got a little bit darker. The next thing we need to do is we go up here to the window, to the Windows tab, and then go down here to the lightning and click on this. And this should show up. It may be possible that it will show up like this. Just dock it to any of these windows. Doesn't matter, but I like to have it next to the inspector. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to remove the skybox. The skybox is, as you can perhaps guess, the box that represents the sky. But since we are indoors and this apartment has no windows at all, we're not going to need a sky. So just click on the circle and then go to none. Okay? So now you can see the apartment got a little bit darker again. And now the only thing we have to adjust is the ambient intensity. The ambient light is the light that currently illuminates our scene without being present in the scene itself. So we're going to adjust this. So we're going to lower it because we want to have it darker. So if I, for example, turn it off completely and put this to 0 and now go to the play view, you can see that it's pitch black and we can't see anything at all. So we want at least some ambient light, but we don't want too much. So we go to the Ambience Intensity and then type in 0.05 for example. That doesn't look right. Sometimes the light is a little bit buggy, so we're going to put this to 0.1. And I think this looks pretty good. Of course you can play around with this setting as much as you like, but I'm going to leave it as it is now. And there's only one more thing I want to do. I want to go to the player and then go to the first person character, right click, and then we're going to add point light, and we're going to call this I'm sorry, not a point light. We're going to add a spotlight. That's what I wanted to add, not a point light, a spotlight. Okay. And we're going to call this spotlight, we're going to call it flashlight or torch, doesn't matter. And as you can see, we have this cone of light, and since this flashlight object is the child of this first person character, which is our camera, this flashlight will be pointing exactly at where the player is looking. We only want to adjust one thing, or two things. First of all, we want to adjust the range. So you can see, now we can see the light. I'm going to make the range ridiculously long, so 30 meters, so that we guarantee that it doesn't matter where we are in the apartment. So let me show you that we have light shining there. Because if this was too short, let me put it back to 10. You can see that we don't have light in this corner, and this looks stupid and unrealistic, so I'm going to put this on to 30. And the next thing we can adjust is the spot angle. As you can see, we can narrow down the angle or make it wider. I'm going to make it 35. So that looks pretty good to me. And now the shadow type doesn't, in Unity the spotlights can't cast shadows for now, which is kinda sad. But we can change that for now, perhaps in a later version. So for now, just leave it at no shadows. And if you want, you can play around with the intensity, so perhaps you want your flashlight to be very bright. But I think 1 is good enough for me. So now, our apartment looks pretty spooky and starts to look like an actual level from a horror game. And in the next episode, I'm going to show you how to toggle the flashlight on and off, and we're going to write our first script, which is going to be pretty exciting. So that's everything for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to subscribe, I would appreciate it, so please leave a like. And if you have any questions or want me to cover something in depth, just leave a comment. I will read them and respond to them. And yeah, that's everything for now. So until next time, bye guys.